culture show, the entire universe, the Fight Podcast. I'm your host, SERG Vicente, and as you can see, we're doing something a little different today. So we have an incredible show for you guys today. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe to this channel as well as everything else that we are doing on the Fight Podcast. Today we have a guest. This guest, you might see him from time to time on your television screen. He is an actor. He is an LBC native. He is also a boxing aficionado on top of being a fantastic father and husband. None other than my brother from another, Manny Montana. My brother Manny, what is going on, bro?
That
Welcome.
was the best intro ever.
Show,
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, man. Dude, I'm so happy that we actually have an opportunity to do this, man. It's been a long time coming. And guys, for those who do not know, yo, Manny loves boxing, all right? Like, anytime, like I said, I think all of us have these infamous group chats left and right who have, talk fights. This is the guy I talk fighting with, all right?
Same.
So he knows exactly what's going on, man. So my brother, thank you for joining me and everything. Bro. And I have to kick it off with this. Mm-hmm. Being a boxing fan, because everybody likes saying that they're a boxing fan.
Right.
But people tend to lean a little bit more casual, let's be honest.
Very true.
You, on the other hand, are legit. You're an actual boxing fan.
Yeah.
What brought you into the sport, man? What got you into boxing?
What brought me in? First of all, I do want to say that I don't talk boxing with a lot of people. You're one of the few because you can actually speak like truthfully and you know it. And I just can't stand people that don't know what the fuck they're talking about, dog, and like will say dumbass shit, which I want to come back to this later on. We will absolutely
circle back to it. I'm here for it.
Yes. What got me into boxing, man, truthfully and honestly, no bullshit. Like when you're growing up and you fighting and like, you could get into street fights and it's whatever, right?
Yeah,
like,
sure.
As long as you got some aggression and some kind of athleticism, you could like
you could throw hands. Absolutely.
As I started getting older, I was like, man, I want to know how to do this shit for real. And it was like truthfully out of fear. I was like, I don't want to get my ass whooped one day. I want to know how to do this shit for real. Like if I'm going to get into some shit, I really want to know.
Right.
And then what I think most people find out when they start boxing and when they start fighting is that you don't want to fight on the street no more.
No.
It calms you down so fucking much so that like once I started boxing, I already had a love for it just from watching it growing up, but like I'm starting to do it and I'm like, oh, this shit is way harder than I ever thought. Yeah. And the tired you feel is like on a whole nother level. And I played team sports my whole life, so to be in there by myself was a whole different fucking bag because I couldn't blame. The quarterback didn't throw me the right pass.
I was good for blaming that one. Quarterback didn't throw me the ball. I was wide open.
So as I started doing it, I was like, oh, this is it. And then I was still so young. So like, let's say pre-boxing, I'd walk into a party, fucking stiff shoulders, like who's fucking what's up?
Yeah.
And then after boxing, it's like, hey man, how are you doing? How's everybody? You just calm as fuck. Like you don't have no ego. You don't have no bullshit along with you that you're trying to act tough shit. Yeah. So it just worked great and I love it for it.
I love that. It's funny, man. You're right. It is one of those things that it mutes your ego.
Yeah.
Because one of the things about boxing and combat sports in general, and I've said this time and time again to people, is everybody gets touched.
Yeah.
So if you've been touched more than once, in terms of boxing.
Absolutely. No, I feel you.
In terms
right
of
there with you.
Catching these hands, it makes you feel differently about certain things. You know what I'm saying? And also, before we go and get started, I want to give a shout out to podcast Money Mike, allowing us to use his fantastic studios here. This is a fantastic setup. We appreciate that, as well as the producer on the show, First Lady Fight Pod, Tosh. So Tosh, my lady, I appreciate it because none of this would happen without her. So super appreciative for that.
What's up?
So she's in the room holding it down for us. And this is The Network Studios. If you're in LA, I'm telling you, you need to check out The Network Studios. They're fantastic. Mike is the man. All right. But okay, you got into, like I said, you got into. It's funny because I similarly got into boxing the same way, right? I grew up with it. My family, I'm Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? I'm black and Puerto Rican. My grandfather, you're gonna learn how to fight. You're gonna talk about fighting. And I remember the black box that you used to get when you have to watch like pay-per-views. You got the black box and everything, and we used to watch them. I remember watching all the way early '90s. I remember watching De La Hoya, Trinidad when they fought back in the day. I remember watching all of those fights. So but it really wasn't until, like you said, once I actually got in there. When I started training, you learn a different appreciation for the sport. And then again, we're already talking about it, and I want to talk about so many matchups that we have coming up, but let's talk about this one first.
Okay.
Because this is the biggest matchup that I have to say that since Delaware and Trinidad, especially this is the first one we have, because a lot of us want to say Pacquiao and Mayweather,
but it wasn't.
But they were past their prime. We're talking about two guys in their prime for undisputed. This is only, I believe, the second time this has ever happened, and in this specific weight class, welterweight, we are talking none other than Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
Both gentlemen are undefeated. Bud Crawford was the undisputed champion at 140 pounds, moved up to 47, is undefeated at 147. Errol Spence has been at 47 his entire career, and he has been the definition of the belt collector, the boogeyman, going out there. They even call him a weight class bully. When you see this fight, what is your excitement level? What is your excitement level?
Like you said, it's just, it rarely happens in boxing, and I hate saying that because people just want to talk shit about boxing, but it's so rare.
Boxing is not dead for those who, because boxing is having the best year that it's had in years.
It really is. It's just that MMA has that, like, you know, that blip on the radar, and like, it's a big thing. It's a big, like, you know, people love talking about it because it's just like gladiator shit. Boxing, on the other hand, is a very skillful thing.
I have to push back.
Okay. Please.
I have to push back. They're equally as skillful. You can't just go out there. Yeah,
and I'm not saying.
Yeah,
when I say gladiator shit, I mean like you can fight to the death. Kind of like you're kind of like going at it.
I'm just saying, there's been no deaths in MMA. There's been plenty of deaths in boxing.
Obviously, Serge loves MMA, and
I love them both.
We're gonna always like disagree on this.
You know,
I don't dislike MMA. MMA people, please don't come for me because I really do like it. I just don't like watching it. I respect the shit out of it.
I understand.
I would never cross any MMA fighter. Please don't come for me.
Yeah, once you see the cauliflower ear, it's usually like, all right,
I'm out.
I'm out. I don't want no smoke.
I can't afford this shit. All right, when I think about this fight, man, I just think about what you said. It's about the fucking De La Hoya Trinidad, or even De La Hoya Sugar Shane in its own right.
Yeah.
The Four Kings. You think about some shit that just doesn't happen because a lot of people talk about, you know, I'll fucking knock you out. I'll knock you out. Everybody wants to talk shit online, but like when it actually comes down to doing it, nobody really wants to risk the belts.
Not at all.
Nobody wants to risk a loss because they think in today's day and age, if you take that loss, you're never gonna come back, which I think is complete bullshit.
Absolutely.
So to have Spence and Crawford, two people to where I'm like, I don't know who to pick.
The definition of a coin flip.
Do you have
I do.
a winner? You do.
I do. But we'll get into it.
Okay.
We'll get into it because I want us to both to again. We're going to talk about scenarios too. So, but I love that you said, especially when we're talking about specifically individuals like people aren't afraid to lose that right? The Mayweatherification of boxing, I think, really hurt boxing for the last 15 years. To be fair, we're finally getting to a point in time where we're actually starting to see younger fighters, individuals saying, yo, who cares? I'll take this L. It is what it is. And then they'll go out there and then we saw Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis. Granted, they're two different levels.
Sure.
We understand that. But SHAKUR, HANEY, Devin Haney just fought Lomachenko.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't care what anybody says. It wasn't a robbery. It was a close fight. Close fight can't be robberies, in my opinion. But we're starting to see it. People putting on a line. Canelo moving up, fighting at 75. You know, so we're getting this, and I think it's breathing new life into boxing. And we're finally getting away because it seemed like for a second, only thing we were getting was like Jake Paul fights.
I know, man.
And this nonsense. Circus. Yeah, we're getting circus
Which
and
there's
nonsense.
a place for it too.
1000%. But
you want to see some skill, man. If you want to see two dudes in their prime go at it.
The best of the best. And that's one thing, again, we're talking about MMA. That's one thing that we've seen. MMA, we get the best of the best. So everybody's always like, oh my God, this is amazing because we're seeing it. Boxing, because of the politics, because boxing has also been around so much longer, there isn't one designated body that's saying, you know, UFC is, yo, if you don't fight such and such, you're fired. Right? They don't have the opportunity to do it. In boxing, they have a little bit more control, especially at the top of the heap. So we're seeing it, and I love it, man. And you're right. This is a coin flip fight. So let me ask you this. Let's talk about keys to victory.
Okay.
on Bud Crawford's side, because Bud Crawford at this present moment in time is the favorite in this matchup.
Bud's the favorite?
Bud's the favorite right now, as of today.
Vegas
it could change
odds?
tomorrow. Vegas odds.
Whoa.
And he's like a minus 200, like it's like minus like 150.
Probably
I think
closest
it's
it's
a
ever
close.
been.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
minus 150, but he's still the favorite in the fight.
Okay.
For him, what do you think the keys to victory are?
Okay, in my personal opinion,
Yeah, your humble opinion.
the key to Terrence Crawford winning, if he can win.
Yeah.
And first of all, can I say who I'm going for?
Yeah, well, let's save it. I want to save it because I want to do our picks together at the end.
All right. So what Bud's got to do to win, in my opinion, he's got to like use his skill. I think he needs to be able to keep Spence at bay, which is the hardest shit to do because Spence is just a fucking avalanche, man. And he's going to get to you at one point or another. But if Bud could keep things, you know, at the end of his jab, if he could move around, if he could switch stances, if he can do all the shit that he's great at, and if he can avoid, Bud, if you can avoid getting tagged early, which you always do, and I don't know if you do it on purpose, dog.
It seems like it sometimes, right?
Like
he gotta get warmed up.
I remember my dad saying that once. He was like, I need to get hit before I can like really start fighting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't believe I don't feel the same way. So I always find it like really cool when people say that. But Bud seems to always do that, but I don't know if he's gonna be able to take a punch from Spence like that. Because Spence just comes with so much weight. He is not 147, right?
Yeah.
He walks around at what, like 170, 180 probably?
They have allegedly,
he
has gotten up to around 190 at times. But since his car accident and since the issue that he had with his eye, he's eating right. He's training year round. So I don't think he's probably gotten any higher than about 170 for this match.
That's fine.
So I roughly, they might be roughly the same size.
You seen the All Access episode 1? You seen what he's eating now?
Yes.
I love it.
He got a chef. He out here hooking it up,
bro,
man.
that's the dream.
Dude, having somebody come to the crib.
Count my calories.
Count my calories for me. I don't even want to think about it. Just put it out there for me. Like, dude, it looked delicious.
Yeah.
My man was hooking up, family sitting down with him. Like,
I know.
Come on, man.
So wait, so if Bud is to win, I think that's gonna be the key.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you can do that against somebody like Spence. And we'll get to this later.
Yeah.
If you'll allow me.
Of course.
Boots Ennis is either going to fight one of these guys, and I don't know who wins out of those three.
I'll be honest with you. Boots ain't going to fight none of them at 47.
Somebody's going to go up.
Well, no, not even that, because I think about this. They already have a clause in it. They have a rematch clause.
Okay.
So they'll end up fighting again. They'll probably fight now. They'll probably fight again in December.
Okay.
So the closest that they'll end up being able to fight Boots would be February to March-ish there. Okay. I think both guys might arguably end up moving up to 54 after this match. Okay. Spence is like, I don't even want to be here no more. He's like, he's literally, I just want to be here to get this belt. I wanted to get this belt. I wanted to be undisputed. And I wanted to do that. Yeah. If he does that, he's gone. Granted, what I do think Boots happened, we'll talk about Boots in a minute. Don't get it twisted. We're talking about Boots. I think what's going to happen with Boots is they're going to relinquish the belts. Okay. I think Boots is going to snatch him up, the vacant belts. He'll end up snatching them up. I think he'll collect them just to have them. And then I think he's going to keep chasing them, try to get him at 54. Okay. Because he's only 26. He's 26. Spence is 33. Crawford is 35, about to go on 36. Mm-hmm. So and again, here's the thing: it's like the senior in college, the senior and freshman thing. They're like, fam, look, we love football. You know what I'm saying? You ain't taking my spot, B. But
you're getting better.
We see you coming. We see you coming. But in terms of this matchup, what you're saying, I think is right. Me personally, I think Terrence Crawford needs to be as creative as possible. Okay. I think that's where he is. In terms of, he's the best switch hitter in the game. Yeah. Southpaw, conventional. So for those who do not know, left-handed boxer, right-handed boxer, he's able to do both of them at essentially the exact same time, which the majority of boxers cannot do. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for most people, but he does it well. He can even do it switching in between stances. I think he needs to be able to stop the forward momentum of Errol Spence. Errol Spence comes like an avalanche. And one thing you have to do with him, I think, me personally, you have to break his rhythm. Because he gets out of the rhythm. So if he's in the middle of his combinations, and if you're not sticking him and giving him something to think about, he won't back up. Prime example, Sean Porter was able to do that a little bit more, and he was able to keep a specific pace. Terrence Crawford is going to need to go ahead and break his rhythm to keep his own pace. Terrence Crawford likes going slower.
That's
Spence
the hard part.
likes keeping your pace up.
Yeah.
So he's going to need to break his rhythm to keep it his pace. That's what I think his keys to victory are. And they ain't going to have to hurt him.
Right.
And I ain't seen nobody hurt Errol Spence to this point in time. So that's our keys to victory for Crawford. In terms of Errol Spence, what are his keys to victory?
I think everything we just said, like Spence just has this fucking avalanche style of boxing, which I haven't really seen, where it's like it's slick, it's boxer, it's slick, but it's like power puncher mixed with boxer, mixed with a lot of things, and like his fucking the reason I think it's hard to stop his timing is because he just adjusts to every kind of timing.
Everything.
So like Porter's timing. I feel like what's British dude? Black British dude.
Kell Brook.
Kell Brook's thing. Like Kell Brook, I feel like was in his prime and was giving Errol some kind of issues.
Absolutely in his prime.
Some
People
kind of
forget.
issues. Yep.
Remember, Kell Brook moved up 2 weight classes to fight Golovkin.
Yep. He was feared.
And he was giving Golovkin the business. He just couldn't withstand the size and power. But he was fighting well until he got stopped. And he was the favorite going into that fight. That's where Errol Spence got the IBF championship belt from.
But it was, in my opinion, it was the same kind of feel because I feel like Kell Brook thought with my skill and I'm powerful enough to outlast the Triple G's and the Errol Spence. But what Errol Spence brings is just what Triple G does. It's like after fucking 10, 12 rounds, you're like, yo, enough, dog. Yeah. I can't fucking take your up to the head, to the body, and his body punching, bro. You saw that YouTube video where he's fucking going body shots with this like big ass dude. Crazy shit. And Ugas stuff.
That was another one. And he just keeps getting, you're right, bro. The way that is his key to victory. It's his pace.
Yep.
He puts a pace on dudes. And it's crazy to be able to see a guy that at one point in time, admittedly, isn't in shape as he needed to be, wasn't doing what he needed to. Now he's doing it, bro. After the time off and everything, watching what he did to Ugas, and Ugas is a dog.
He's a good
People
fighter,
forget
man.
about that. And in fact, speaking of boots, I'd love to see him fight Ugas next, but we'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about it.
I'm on the same page.
That fight. Oh my God. But I'm also worried because Errol Spence breaks faces. And after you have your face broken, speaking to Kell Brook, got his face broken. You know, another dude. I think he has 3 to 4 orbitals in his resume at this point in time. But I think he's going to have to put a pace on him. I think he's going to have to put a pace on Terrence Crawford that Terrence Crawford has never seen. Which is going to be difficult because Terrence Crawford is arguably the most intelligent boxer that we have seen since Floyd. So to be able to see him go out there and do his thing and move, that's what he's going to have to do. I think he's going to have to work the body. I think he's going to slow him down. And one thing that I have always said, I think that Terrence Crawford is a bit chinny, especially the older he's got in his career. So I think one thing that he's going to have to do is I think he's going to have to land on that chin a couple times and catch Terrence Crawford within the combinations. Terrence Crawford, he's so snappy and whippy. He always catches people at the end of his punches or in between. He's going to have to out-counter the counter-puncher in order to win this fight. So that's why I say. So with that being said, and we still got a gang of stuff to talk about today, it's that time.
No.
Bruh.
No.
Who you got, man? You got to let me know.
Okay. So here's what I've been telling people. I'm rooting for Bud. I can't root against Bud. There's just something in me.
I understand.
I just love him. I just love how mean he is. But Errol is so good. Errol is so good. So I'm rooting for Bud.
Yeah.
But it's like a fucking millimeter.
I hear you.
Percentage-wise. You?
So, I have gone back and forth.
Okay.
It's one of those, like, one day I wake up and I'm like, I see Terry, I see Bud getting them. I turn around, especially because I had the opportunity. If you guys haven't, please do me a favor, go on the Fight Podcast YouTube channel, check out the interviews that I had at the media day with Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. We have a couple of clips there for you guys, so check that out, like, share, and subscribe. Seeing him, because I was there and I'm like, damn, I don't know, he look intense. Maybe he's doing it. Then, I mean, they both were.
Okay.
To be fair, you see them both. They both are like stoic as ever. You can tell they want it. They're hungry already.
They're in that fight
I'm
mode.
not even going to call. I'm not even going to.
Come on, man.
Keep going. Errol Spence is going to knock him out.
Whoa.
Errol Spence.
I take that whoa back because that could absolutely happen.
The reason I say that is that one, I think Bud is chinny. Also, there's a weird stat that after you reach the age of 35, it's something like 70% plus of individuals that go for titles after the age of 35 don't win.
Okay.
That's like the age. And boxing is usually younger than that, but blood is an anomaly.
Okay.
When I think of that, and also I think of this, Errol Spence, we talked about it. He's so much more technically sound. He's a robot. Defensively, hand goes right back. Hand comes out, hand go back. Hand go out, hand come back. He doesn't play games, right? So he has that aspect. He's a body puncher, and then he puts a pace on you. One thing that Terrence Crawford does, which I think it benefits him with everybody else, is that he goes out here, and then what he does is that he's so creative. He's a dog, right? We talk. He's a dog. He's mean. He'll try to get it back. If he does that with Spence, I think Spence is going to catch him.
Yeah.
And I think if he catches him, I think along with the body punches, the body shots, the pace, because Crawford has never had that pace, I think he gets stopped. So what do I think? I think Big Fish gonna eat, man down, all that stuff
Strap
that he
season.
said, strap season.
Yeah,
We smoking bud. Like, it is what it is.
you got?
I see it.
We got Tasha.
You
Just
got
saying
it.
that.
So that's what I see.
Okay.
We'll find out. But at the end of the day, at the same token, I can see it going the other way. I can see Crawford catching him. I can see it catching him. But I still think man down, strap season.
If you had a meal and you had to bet that meal, you're betting it on Spence.
I'd bet a portion of it. I'm not betting the whole thing. I bet a little chunk of it. I'm keeping the rest of it. But yes, I would put that money on Errol Spence if I had to.
Yeah, and with all that said, Spence, you're my dude. I always root for you any other time, but Bud is just I just can't root against him.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
It's hard to root against him. But last thing I'll say about this is the reason that I've gotten to the decision I did was primarily because at the end of the day, I look at like who you fought. Yeah. Who have you fought? And then when we boil down to it, let's talk about Terrence Crawford's record. You ain't fought nobody.
Everybody says that, but nobody wants to fight him. It's not his fault.
It doesn't matter. No,
it is his fault.
That's why it's his fault.
He's with Top.
It was his fault.
Oh, man.
It was his fault because he had the opportunity to get out of the top rank a long time ago, and he chose to resign. He could have. Yes, I do. I talked to the managers. I absolutely know the ins and outs.
Personally, like in the fine line, like I just feel like there's a lot of shit that happens.
I'm sure it was, but at the end of the day, as a fighter, it is your job to go out there, and if you really want those fights, you can make it happen. So for him, it was one of those things. You chose to go to the side of the street where you knew nobody in your weight class was. If he wanted to, he could have said, nah, I ain't doing that. Or he could have pulled a Mayweather, bought out of his contract, and then went out there and did his thing with PBC anyways. He did not do that until last year. So when I look at it in that regard, only reason you ain't fought nobody is because of you.
Leave Bud alone, man.
I just say, bro, I call a spade a spade, bro. I'm not just going, you know what I'm saying? And I love Bud. Bud. I seen you Old Orchard Mall back in the day in Chicago. Love you, bro. It is what it is, okay? And I'll see you again at the fights. Please don't kick my ass. All right. But speaking of that weight class, we already mentioned his name. We're calling the boogeyman. I call him the most dynamic offensive boxer that I have personally ever seen. His last fight last weekend was the closest thing that I can say I remember to looking like Roy Jones Jr.
Floyd-esque.
Not even. I'm talking about Roy.
No, man.
Like the way he was throwing, he does
shit,
defensively for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the offensive creativity.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it aside from Roy. We're talking about Drawn Boots Ennis. Yeah. The kid is an absolute monster. Got a 9th round stoppage this past week. What is this kid ceiling, man?
All right, so I have to be honest. I hadn't not seen Boots fight a full fight.
Yeah.
I've only seen like highlights since last week.
Right.
And my boy Will, who I used to do the cast with, like has been saying his name forever, and like said, I think he could take Bud and Spence since way back when everybody was like, you fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing it, dude, because after watching what he did with this last fight and watching him, like really, really watching him, I was like, oh, this motherfucker's incredible.
He's incredible.
Defensively, offensively, he's a switch hitter, like you said. He could fight orthodox or south. got a chin. Because what's his name? Willa?
Not Venezuela.
Him.
Yes.
Villa. Who he just
yes,
fought.
Who just fought. Who
is
just
no
beat the hell up.
punk.
No.
Looks like a fucking Sicario. He's that dude that, like, you know, Venezuelan Latin dude that's like, you don't fuck with those dudes on the street.
He comes downhill, he hits hard. Because that's one thing everybody was saying. I want to see Boots when Boots is in there with somebody who can crack.
Yep. And he can.
He can crack. And that dude hit him with clean shots. Fighters. And he ate them boys like cookies.
Yep. And we always say this, man. There's like a certain kind of fighter who, like, when they do this shit, and they just start walking you down, you're like, fuck, you know it's going to be a tough night. You know it's going to be a tough one.
One of them lunch pail fights.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it.
All right.
Right. And, like, the way he just dismantled him was a sight to fucking see, dog.
Beautiful.
Because...
it was art.
It was art, man.
Art.
And okay, so sorry, we go back to MMA real quick.
Yeah.
That's the difference between boxing and MMA to me. I don't feel like you'll see stuff like that in MMA.
Have you watched Alexander Volkanovski?
No.
Have you watched Israel Adesanya?
Yes.
That is art.
I'll give you that.
Okay, and there's so many
and
more
I know
individuals.
MMA's still young.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about it.
But I haven't, like, I can't think of anybody else besides Izzy,
Volk. I mean, it depends on what you're looking at. We can look at it especially in different spheres. Because if I look at, for instance, Brian Ortega, out here from LA, salute to Brian Ortega. He's somebody that on the ground, he's masterful.
Okay.
You see what he does on the ground. That it's just like, I have no idea what he's doing. So that's the thing about MMA specifically, is that you have certain individuals that go out there and it's just when you see them, it's just like they're painting a picture.
I know.
You're just like, oh my God, this is it. And to your point, that's what Boots looks like. Boots goes out there and he is literally going out there and painting a picture.
He has everything that even the casual fight fan would be like, damn, who's this guy?
Yeah.
And that's what's hard to come across in boxing because you have like the guys like Haney who are offensively incredibly sound, but boring as all hell, man. Boring.
Aww.
Yes. We'll get to that. Because people want to compare him to Floyd, and Floyd used to be boring. I'm like, nah, when Floyd did it, it was so skillful and like beautiful to me.
The difference is, in my opinion, so Shakur Stevenson fights like Pretty Boy Floyd.
Agreed.
Devin Haney fights like Money Mayweather. Completely
disagree.
So I don't. I don't, because here's the thing. Does it offensively sound, defensively sound, doesn't, at least at this point in time, have the power to do stuff, but has enough power to make you respect him and not come in.
For sure.
So I'll say that. And he also does, obviously, the Philly shell. He does. So that's why I look at it in that capacity. But I hear what you're saying.
I respect the shit out of him. Absolutely. I just can't stand watching him fight. And that's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
Is that offensive?
No, I mean, look, it is what it is. It's because at the end of the day, look, because this, again, like you like this guy's style. Some people's style, it doesn't compute, doesn't translate.
And it draws you.
Yeah.
And sorry, we keep getting off topic, but like going back to Boots, that's why he's so special, man. Because boxers love him, the casual fans love him.
He passes the eye test.
Yeah, dog.
Right.
Yeah,
it's like when you see him, he literally jumps off the screen. Yeah. The way he moves, the way he throws his punches together, the power that he has. Right.
It's when a showman. He's a showman. There it is. But it doesn't come off like, and this is no diss to Mayweather, he's not doing the Mayweather shit where he's just like, you know, where looks like the WWE, you know, I'm talking shit, I'm a creative character, which is great. But Boots just does it in the ring, and it's kind of, like, I've never seen it like that before. I don't think ever.
The only one, like I said, and that's why I called him, I think he might arguably be the greatest offensive, the explosive offensive fighter I've ever seen. The only person that I would say that I saw that was very similar is Roy Jones Jr. Because of the athleticism, right? They're both really athletic in that capacity. The punches come from angles that you're not accustomed to. The footwork, the movement, the way my man went out here and bust a slow motion move on these fools. He went out there, slow motioned it up, and then sped it back up and caught him with a boom. Yo, it was incredible to watch. If you guys have not seen it, I believe it's on Showtime. Do yourselves a favor and watch. If you're a fan of boxing, and go back and watch Boots Ennis' fight. I'm telling you, it is worth it. So, if today Boots Ennis went in there.
Fuck you, man. Fuck you, man. Don't ask me that, dog. Oh, shit.
If today Boots Ennis was in there against your boy, Bud, who would win? Is he the best 47-pounder right now? That's a better question. So I don't even have to have you pit him against him. So is he currently the best 147 pounder in the world.
So this is why these three guys are really tough, because how I just said I would never root against Bud. I'd root for Boots to beat Bud, but I don't know if Spence beats Boots. Sorry, they have so many similar. Jaron Ennis, I don't know if Jaron Ennis beats Errol Spence, but I do think Jaron Ennis beats Bud Crawford.
I agree with you.
It's weird.
You're right. And again, it's usually like they say, like MMA math, but boxing math sometimes doesn't matter. Yeah, styles make fights.
Yeah.
Stylistically, Errol Spence's tight defense and body work would be a problem, I think, for Boots. And especially because Boots is a guy, I don't agree with this. This is old school as hell, and I think it is terrible. He doesn't work. He doesn't lift. He doesn't work out.
Oh.
He just is in there, hitting this. He just gets in shape by doing boxing stuff. I am a proponent of somebody, if you lift weights, if you work out, and the thing is, and then you go out there and do your thing and you're doing sports-specific movements, it benefits you. So prime example, if you have two fighters, skill set is equal, but one guy can lift a Mack truck and the other guy doesn't, the guy who is stronger is going to always win. It is what it is.
1000%.
So that's why I think Errol Spence snatches his soul.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. At this point in time in their career.
Yeah.
In a year or two, it might change.
Yeah.
It might change.
And again,
I
think, and if I could, I think you're saying the same thing. It's a sliver.
It's so close. Yeah. It's so close.
Because I don't know. I really don't know, man. Jaron could give Errol some shit he's never fucking seen.
Give him that woo-wop.
Yeah,
he can really put it on him.
And like, I don't know, man. Fighters, when they get to that point and they meet some like a young buck who's like really has some shit for you, I don't know how you're gonna react when you're like 35, 37 years old and still trying to fight. And then you start thinking about longevity, and then you start thinking about, your kids, and you start all these things that weren't an issue. That's what I'm saying. But the older dudes have, like Bud has like 4, Spence has however many.
Yep.
And like you start thinking about those things. So these young bucks become a real fucking problem.
Yeah. Oh, and that's why the next generation, I don't actually know if he is ever going to face those two. Mm-hmm. My deep down inside, I don't think he's going to be fair.
It might be one of those, like, Spencer's on his way out.
Yeah, one of those things. And I think those guys are so great, they're not even going to be like, you're not worth it. Like, prime example, Floyd Mayweather had an opportunity to fight Spence. When Spence was coming up, he was like, hell no, I ain't fighting dude. You crazy?
Bro,
it's too much. It's just not worth it. I can beat him, but it's just not worth the camp. And that's the only reason I don't know if those guys will ever fight him. But I love it. And then you got, again, 54. And 54 is a weight class that we're talking about people going to. We're talking about Errol Spence going there, and his teammate is there. Jermell Charlo is there. And Jermell Charlo is somebody who I personally believe should be top 10 pound for pound. Whoever you pound for pound list people are, you clowns. All of them. Doesn't make no sense.
We're talking about Big Charlo or Little Charlo?
We're talking about Little Charlo.
Okay.
Because Little Charlo is the undisputed champion at 154 pounds, and there are some dogs at 54. Yeah. He is moving up to fight 2 weight classes. To fight Cinnamon himself.
Oh, my God.
Canelo Alvarez. He's going out there to get Canelo Alvarez. First of all, when that fight was first announced, I think all of us thought it was Big Charlo.
Yeah.
We all thought it was Big Charlo. They're twins. One fights at 160 already. He's a champion at 160. But Lil Charlo moves up. Jermell Charlo, he's fighting him. It's first announced. What are your thoughts?
I was super happy because I thought it was Big Charlo.
Right.
And we're going to go in circles a little bit here, so please forgive us.
No worries.
Because I have my thoughts on Canelo and I have my thoughts on the Charlo twins.
I think we all do. Everybody does for those guys.
So I don't understand why he's not fighting Big Charlo. And I'm not saying Little Charlo can't give Canelo problems, but I just don't think he wins. I think Big Charlo gives Canelo problems. I don't know if he wins, but I think he gives him mad issues.
Yeah.
Baby Charlo, I feel, I hate saying this because I know he gets this a lot. His emotions go so high.
Yeah.
And I feel like, a fighter that's used to dominating in the ring, when he gets against somebody like Canelo who's just going to keep coming at you, and like that slow fucking murderous pace that Canelo does, I don't know if he's going to be able to withstand it. And he's moving up in weight to fight how many weight classes? Fuck no.
2 weight classes. So,
please, and then I'll get back to Canelo.
His coach, fantastic coach that he is.
Yeah.
said that their goal is to end up getting to, instead of getting to 68, because that's where the weight class is, to get to 168. The idea is for him to be around 163, 164 day of the fight. That's where they feel he's going to be at the most optimal.
Yeah.
I like that. That's super smart,
Agreed.
right? Super smart. Derek James, spoke
amazing.
to Derek James as well.
Amazing.
He is phenomenal. Check that out as well. But Derek James, I think, is going to really have him prepared. Derek James is also Errol Spence Jr.'s trainer as well.
And if you haven't watched their training camps, man, just watch the All Access where you can see like the fucking body weight always on Spence, the jumps, the fucking deadlifts,
everything
that they're working boxers on, should be doing.
They focus on their lower body. They build their legs up. Everything upper body wise, they really focus on explosion, which is super dope, which I love. So watching it, all this sick, right? I love it. Look, my initial reaction to the fight is, at first, I thought it was Big Charlo, so I was hyped. Yeah. Right? I'm like, come on, time. He ain't fought in 2 years. Let's go. Right? Like, let's go. I'm here for it. I'm a Charlo fan. I'm also a Canelo fan. How can you not be? Right? But then when I found out it was a little Charlo, I was a little upset at first. Because I was like, he's moving up 2 weight classes. This fight doesn't make sense. Why are we doing this, right? I don't think Big Charlo was ready. I think that's what ended up happening. Oh. They said he wasn't ready because a few days before that, Big Charlo was on a FaceTime or IG Live with Demetrius Andre, another guy who hasn't fought in forever, right? And he asked him about 68, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not ready to get 68 or something like that."
Where's he at now?
Know. He's at 60. He's at middleweight. Okay. So maybe that was the case. And also, when I'm seeing him online recently, he giving me some Adrian Broner vibes. Oh, yeah, man. It's almost sad, right? It makes me I'm okay. So it's not just me. Sending all the best to Big Charlo because it seems like something might be going on. But I hope he's been very supportive of his brother, which I'm happy about. Yeah. He's getting it now. X's and O's. And when it gets closer, I might bring Manny back. We might do this again.
I'd love to. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll be honest with you. I think Charlo has an opportunity to win. How? And the reason I say that is this. Yeah, absolutely. Did you watch Canelo's last fight? Yes. It was terrible. Yeah. He looked awful. And one thing about it is Canelo, it's not like he's young in age. In terms of boxing, he's ancient. Oh, yeah. He has all the rounds sparred. All of started in Mexico. Started in Mexico. At like 10 years old, bro. He's been fighting. He's 9 years old out there, you know.
Professional at 9 years old.
Whooping cab drivers, right? Just beating the hell out of cab drivers. So he has a lot of miles on him. Once you have a lot of miles on you, it's like you have that odometer. When you get a certain age and he just falls off a cliff, right? That last fight is the first time that I actually looked at it and I was like, yo, is Canelo getting old on me? So watching Charlo, whom is explosive, utilizes his jab extremely well, has power, explosive power, and has good athleticism and footwork, those are all things that make Canelo struggle. Yep. Even though he beat what's my guy? Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant gave him all the trouble it being because of the footwork and the angles. Charlo can give you those same type of footwork and angles, but actually give you thunder on the other end to make you respect it. Now, Canelo arguably has the greatest chin we've ever seen. I don't know what you Mexicans eat, but it is, bro. Them heads is blocks. My man is not. He takes all the shots. Some of the Gennady Golovkin breaks faces, and he ate them joints like cookie. Didn't even take a backward step. So that's my only thing, right? But I watched the Bivol fight. Bivol's bigger, but he outskilled Canelo, utilizing his speed. And one thing that I really put into account, I don't want to knock Eddie Reynoso because I think Reynoso is great. He's not as good of a trainer as Derek James is, and I love the game plans that Derek James and their team put together. Word. I think they will be able to put a game plan together to make it interesting. Word. So that's my only thing. But here's the thing.
It's well said.
Hey, yo, it's gonna be great. Yeah. It's gonna be entertaining, and Charlo's gonna sell the hell out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Can I give you my Canelo?
Please.
Shit?
Please.
Oh man, and I hate saying this as a Mexican because Mexicans hate me for this shit, man.
right, man. Keeping a spade a spade.
I know, look, yes, and I love Canelo, man. I think he's like one of the most skillful fighters. I love how he carries himself. I just love the fucking work. I love it. I do hate that. I feel like for his career, at least, I feel like he's just navigated this path of like, okay, I could beat this guy easy. Nah, I don't need to fight him. He's skillful, but he's not popular. Oh, I'll move up and just fight this guy, and everybody will say that. Oh, well, he moved up and took all the belts there. Yeah, there's nobody there at that weight class. That's easy. I know. It's just my opinion. Ever since Mayweather schooled him,
yes,
he fights nobody with any kind of foot speed.
No.
Nobody.
No.
And he's just constantly fighting these guys who could kind of punch. Yeah, but I don't think Charlo has that kind of like slickness and foot speed. He has slickness. Forward. It's very much like here slickness, but I don't know if he can get out of the way like Mayweather does or whatever other slick fighter can really like pivot out of the way.
Only reason I disagree is go back and watch the Tony Harrison fight. Some of the angles he ended up cutting on Tony Harrison, and Tony Harrison's a slick boxer.
Yeah,
but he was able to outslick that slick boxer.
But is he like Canelo? Is Tony Harrison like Canelo with that fucking predator?
No. He's Tony Harrison backing up, throwing jabs at you.
Yeah, and I don't know if Charlo can handle that shit. So to me, that's what I have my issues with Canelo's just his legacy as far as did he take the big fights when he should have or when he could have? And now that he's towards the end of his career, I feel like people can easily be like, well, yeah, he's starting to fade, which he is, and like Father Time catches all of us.
Everybody.
So it makes for a decent fight. I don't think Charlo wins it. I'm still waiting on fucking Canelo to fight the really big fish. I hope the Spence Canelo fights happens one day if they can meet somewhere in the middle.
That'd be incredible.
But I just feel like Canelo has bamboozled people just a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, Canelo, don't hate me, dude. Because I really do love you, man. But I feel like he's bamboozled people a little bit in his career, and he's like nitpicked a little bit. And I know he's the A side, so he can choose to do whatever he wants.
Absolutely,
dude. Whatever. This is just my humble opinion as a boxer. As a dude, I think you're amazing. I just wished I would have seen like these mega fights in your career versus like now where it's like you're kind of.
Now I agree in terms of after Mayweather. I mean, he kept away from all black dudes. Bro, he was just like all black dudes. I'm gonna fight these Russians. I'm gonna fight right. I'm gonna fight these dudes that don't have, because not only did Mayweather give him like that. Yo, I don't care what anybody says. Erislandy Lara beat Canelo.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the Lara fight.
Yeah.
Canelo couldn't touch him. Lara was schooling him.
Okay.
And I stand on that. 10 toes down. I'm standing on Lara won that fight.
Okay.
And I love Canelo. Yeah. He's one of my all-time favorite fighters. He's incredible to watch. And I always respected how he's always jumped up and down. Being able to go out there and beat Kovalev. I don't care how old Kovalev was. To knock Kovalev out is impressive.
Yeah.
To go out there.
The same, but
He wasn't, but he's still a guy fighting at 175 pounds who's coming down from like 2 bills. That's impressive still. But he wasn't fighting these guys. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody else was slow. So I'm curious to see how he is. So I do agree with that. I can't wait to see. And I say, here's the thing. I say one thing. I think that David Benavidez is...
that's what I was thinking about. Okay,
David Benavidez, I think, is easy money for Canelo. I think it's easy money for Canelo. I think bigger, because I don't think David Benavidez gets past David Morrell.
In the same room with this dude. What did you say?
Have you watched David Morrell? David Morrell, I think, is going to be the one, because they're talking about having that fight with Benavidez next.
No, he's good. He's good.
I'm about to say, fam, like, look.
I just don't think Benavidez, he could beat Benavidez.
I think he's Benavidez with footwork. And here's the thing. Benavidez has a cumulative power.
Yeah.
He doesn't have stone cold, I'm a dead you power.
I disagree. No. It's a different kind of power. It's like
again the cumulative. It's his pace and his wave and it's here. But David Morrell comes down. He has like I'm gonna sleep you power.
Okay.
And with that exact same kind of pace that Benavidez has. So I personally believe. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm okay being wrong.
I mean, you're extremely wrong. Go ahead, please continue.
We will see. I think that might end up being a better fight. And honestly, in terms of Canelo, I don't see Canelo breaking on a Benavidez, and I don't see Benavidez being skilled enough. For instance, he won't break. Like Caleb Plant got tired, right? He gets tired. He ends up breaking. You don't think Caleb Plant got tired, or you just?
I think Benavidez just like started becoming too much to hold up.
Oh, this is because he's coming.
That's what I mean.
He just keeps coming. Yeah, he's a wave. It's,
that's what I mean.
It's the accumulative power and I don't think that beats Canelo.
Call me crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's gonna happen to Canelo if Benavidez fights him. I feel like we're gonna see Canelo against the ropes like we've never seen him. Come like 10th round, I feel like Canelo's gonna be back.
If he ever fights him.
Yeah.
That's
why, and again, that's why I'm like, I feel like
he's talking about he don't want to fight Mexicans.
That's what I mean. So that's what like pisses me off about Canelo, where I'm like, bro, what? You fought countless Mexicans, and now you don't want to fight Mexicans?
Hey, man, he fought Mexican cab drivers down there in Tijuana. He don't want to fight anybody real right now.
And so what you said about Benavidez is power versus
the accumulative power?
Yeah, no, you said he. To me, Benavidez has like the kind of power that if I had a 10-pound weight, you would feel it like that.
Yeah.
Versus me punching how I normally punch.
So
it's still power.
Thud instead of a whip.
Yes.
Okay.
Which both hurt.
Yeah.
It just depends on the other person's chin.
Right.
I think again, man. I think Benavidez has that kind of thing where where he like takes the punch and like immediately counters.
For sure.
I feel like that gives Canelo mad problems.
Oof.
I would love it. Problems.
I would love to. Make it happen. Canelo, let's go.
Yo, the height difference, sorry. I know we have to go into different things.
No worries.
But, like, I just feel like Canelo's going to be against the ropes against Benavidez. And he
I would love
knows
to see it. I would love to see it. And maybe that's why that fight isn't happening. But we're talking about guys who aren't afraid of the smoke, who are going out here and fighting dudes left and right. So I got to talk about the lightweights. Okay. Lightweight division has been on fire.
So fun.
Arguably the most entertained weight class in all of combat sports, because 135 pounds, not only in boxing, in MMA, in all of the organizations, is the most entertaining weight class. I don't know what it is about 135 pounders. They are monsters, right? I want no smoke with none of them. But we have some of the greatest crop coming up right now.
Yeah.
We got Devin Haney, who has all the belts. We got Shakur Stevenson, who is calling them out left and right.
Yep.
We got Tank Davis. We got those three right now that I say are at the top of the heap. It's looking more and more like we are going to get Devin Haney against Shakur Stevenson.
Please.
So,
please,
if we're looking at that matchup right now, because is that the one you prefer?
I would hope. I mean, I want all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Round robin, I want everybody to get touched. Yes.
But I want. This sounds so mean. I just want. I hate saying because he's just a kid. I want Haney to know that he's not what he thinks he is, or that he's hyping himself up to be, or that his dad's hyping himself up to be. Or maybe he
is.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Or maybe he is. And
maybe he's him.
Look, I love being proved wrong when it comes to boxing. And like we'll quickly bounce on this.
Yeah.
I thought Teofimo Lopez was going to get destroyed by Josh Taylor, and he shut us all the hell up.
I did too. I said, I was writing his obituary. I was like, this is it.
Same. So,
and then he still retired.
Safe. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So I think the same with Haney. Like, if you were to beat Shakur and Tank and all these guys, man, you'd have all my respect. And not that you need it. This is just my opinions. But I just don't think you beat Shakur. I don't think you beat Tank. I think Devin Haney would have so much success at 140. I feel like he'd destroy Rolly. He would destroy Garcia. He would destroy Theo.
Yeah.
But the lightweight, nah, man. I feel like he'd get taught a valuable lesson.
Ooh. Yeah. Look, me personally, I love Devin. I think Devin is great. I think Shakur is the best of the bunch.
Agreed.
When I see Shakur Stevenson, and maybe because he's black and Puerto Rican, I don't know. Maybe that's why I hype him up. But whatever. I think skill-wise, he's amazing.
Incredible.
I think the people that he has around him, Andre Ward, Bud Crawford, those are the peoples who are in his ear. When I look at it, when I see it, to me personally, he's the guy.
His skill, bro, his defense, the way he can back up like a fucking gazelle,
ridiculous.
Dog.
Oh my God,
his skill, he could like let a punch come millimeters away from his face and he knows right where he needs to be.
Yeah.
It's the kind of skill I haven't seen since Mayweather, and I know people throw that out a lot, but it's the truth. Like, I don't say that lightly. He's very Mayweather-esque, and if he continues to grow into his power, because a lot of people were saying he didn't have power until he moved up to lightweight.
Dudes. Yeah.
And now, he's showing it.
He's sitting down on his punches so much more. His
man strength is coming in.
Absolutely. And you see he's filling out too. You could absolutely see it. And he has a mean streak to him. And that's people are getting mad. People talking trash about him online. Oh, like
he looks like a little menace, man.
He is a little menace.
Little
and I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too.
And I am so here for it. Look, I seen the video when you beat that dude up in the gas station.
We
seen it.
Yep.
It is what it is. I love that. But there has been, whenever all this comes to fruition, that's going to happen. But the lightweight division is so exciting. What else in the sport? What boxers? Because I know you have a relationship with a few boxers as well. What boxers or fights, aside from the ones we've talked about, are you looking forward to?
I'm always going to hype up, and I'm always going to say this guy first. Ashton Silve from Long Beach, and I'm not just saying it because he's from Long Beach.
Dope. Signed with Jake Paul's, the MVP Promotions.
Yeah.
Yep.
And forgive me if I'm wrong, Ashton and Ivan. I think that they still have their own promotional company, H2O Promotions. And what's dope about the Jake Paul signing thing is that I feel like, I could be wrong, I feel like Jake Paul lets them still do whatever they want.
It seems like it.
But still they could work within their promotion company. And I feel like that's what promotion companies should be doing anyway. Stop locking people into these contracts. Get your ego out the fucking way. Just let people do what they want to do. Let these kids make some money. Because you'll make money along with them.
The suits are always going to mess it up. Let's just be honest with you. The UFC would be better if it wasn't for Dana and the suits. Boxing would be better. If Bob Arum and his old 90 whatever year old self decide to go lay down somewhere, Top Rank will even be better. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed,
it's one of those
things. New day.
It's an absolutely new day. Let these dudes go out there and cook, because dudes like Ashton, if you guys haven't had an opportunity to check him out, you need to. He's one of those young guys that can do it all. We're talking about
switch
guys
hitter
that's a switch hitter. You know, has power, footwork. He's defensively sound.
Extremely.
So many dope dudes. He's fighting soon.
He's fighting August 5th. And I think it's his first true challenge against Willa. He lost to Theo not too long ago.
But it's still a good fight.
It's that good, like, young up-and-coming fighter versus, like, an old veteran who's probably going to be hard to get out.
Yeah.
But if he can attack, like, if Ash can get him out, it's going to show a lot, because those crafty veterans are hard to, they're hard to beat.
They're not trying to get knocked out. They're trying to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and, I go to the same gym as Ashton. So, like, they're at Jack Rabbit Gym in Long Beach. Shout out to them, and I watch what they do, man. God dang, bro. Like, just being near pros and surrounded by pros, when you're watching them, you're like, how the fuck do you do what you do, man? And it's consistent. And they do everything the right way. Like, awesome. I feel like Ashton is like, and I've his dad, strength training with the legs, always making sure that his body's right, always doing, like, really, like, unique routines. Their work ethic is crazy, man. Like, Ashton runs like I can't believe. His power, his strength, his smart, and he's the nicest fucking kid you will ever fucking meet. Outside of the ring, man, he's super sweet and, like, really calm. And then you see him in the ring and he has these fucking, like,
he's
like serial killer eyes.
He's a shark.
Yeah, so him, what's the Puerto Rican kid out of New York he just fought?
Berlanga?
Not Berlanga. I have my issues with Berlanga.
Me too. I'm about to say.
It's with the Z. I'm blanking. Xander Zayas.
Yeah, Xander Zayas.
Him, I think it has the potential to be great.
He's nice. For Puerto Rico is concerned, I think he's the next one. Xander is nice. He's only like 24 years old. He's explosive. He's already been on some big cards and some big spots. I think is great. In terms of Berlanga, I think he's one of those guys that we were at one point in time looking at and saying, this might be the dude. He's not who we thought he was.
He's gonna get to that A level, but it's not gonna be the A plus.
Man, he might get there, and we'll see him get knocked out. Agreed. I think that's what ended up happening. No disrespect. No. I just don't think he is of that ilk at this point in time. Maybe, and you know what? That can change. Exactly, that can change. If he goes, I think, to a different camp, I think maybe that helps him. But what I have seen recently is not. Granted, his last fight, he looked a lot better. Yeah, he still didn't look great, but he looked better.
Agreed, man. Can I say one more person? And like this is a person who's been around a lot, but right now is facing, I feel like, a lot of health issues, and like I just got a lot of love and respect for him. But Virgil Ortiz, man. Jr., who
he was supposed to fight last weekend.
Weekend, who to me is like one of the most skillful Mexican fighters I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Absolutely.
And you know, he was calling out Bud and he was calling out Spence, and I love what he was saying. He was like, "Look, I want to know if I'm good enough now. I don't need to wait 10 fights from now. I don't need to like just keep making this money. I just want to see." And I love that mentality for a boxer, man. So like, God willing, you heal up soon, dude. And he trains in Long Beach sometimes, and like I just got a lot of respect for him and how he carries himself. So
he's really good, man. He again, the most skillful Mexican I've seen. I mean, footwork wise, he's out there moving around.
Crazy.
And And yeah, but just health wise, he hasn't been able to get it.
I know.
But all right.
What about wait? Sorry, do you have any other young fighters that you like?
I mean, we've talked about most of them. Yeah, most of the young guys. I mean, if we're also talking about, I also love Cool Boy Steph. In
Fulton?
yeah,
Okay.
Fulton, Stephen Fulton over in Philly. I love him. I love that he's
Philly,
about to go.
man.
Man, those Philly fighters are great. I love that he's about to go fight Inoue, and arguably for me, Inoue, his nickname is the Monster for a reason. Again, another guy. If you have not watched him, you need to. This dude only fights at like 115 pounds, 120 pounds, and they're just devastating. I'm telling you, that's a fight, arguably for pound number one in the world. That's happening in a few weeks. I cannot wait to see that one as well. There's some great fights and some great fighters, man. But we're gonna close it out with this today.
Okay.
Because yesterday, man, we cooking, boy. We cooking. The biggest boxing news, combat sports news of the week has to be the fight was announced yesterday. The lineal heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury, has signed on to fight the lineal heavyweight MMA champion
in boxing.
Francis Ngannou. A lot of people said Francis Ngannou fumbled the bag. Hey, look at you now. Who fumbled what? He ain't fumbled. Get your money, black man. Right. Get your money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So he went out there, did his thing, didn't fumble no bags. And salute to my boy Markel Martin, who is his manager, and stuck with him, stuck true, and did his thing. I love what they're doing there. And I'll say this about this fight. I'll kick it off with this.
Okay.
As a Francis Ngannou fan, I'm excited for him.
Yeah.
You did your thing. You waited it out. You knew what you were worth, and you went and got it. Love that. Salute to you, sir. As a boxing fan, I hate this fight. Tyson Fury. Shit or get off the pot, bro.
Yeah,
like, you're holding up a weight class. We could have the first ever undisputed heavyweight champion of the world if you went out there and you fought Usyk, but you're not fighting Usyk. Why? Why is Usyk fighting Derek Chisora or somebody like that? Or I'm sorry, another one. He's fighting the other British black dude. Whatever. But he's great. He's great. But he's not Dubois. He's fighting Dubois. But that's not what we want to see. It's not going to happen. So in terms of the fight, I am excited because of Francis, but as a boxing fan, I'm irritated. I'm irritated. How you feel about this fight?
I feel exactly how you feel about it, dog. And I'm extremely happy that they're gonna make a shitload of money, man. You're fighting in Saudi Arabia, right?
Are they fighting in Saudi? Saudi giving them that oil money.
When I saw that, rain, boy, I was like, yo, this UFC fighter who don't make shit and putting his MMA fighter who MMA fighter who like they don't make any money, man. So I love seeing, especially somebody as skilled as him. I really do like him.
I like him a lot. And his story is incredible.
Yeah, dude. And I just don't wanna see two big-ass dudes hugging for 12 rounds, bro. Because you know that's what it's going to be. Tyson, that's all he does. I don't know. No?
Tyson Fury?
Yeah.
Tyson Fury is arguably the most skilled heavyweight I've ever seen.
Skilled, yes, bro. But all he does is, like, lean on you.
He did that with Wilder, but that was strategic. That was game plan-wise.
I feel like he's going to sit there too.
Probably.
And, like, the older he gets, he's not going to keep on bouncing around. I don't know how good of a shape he's going to be in. I mean, I hope he comes in shape. But to me... I don't know if Francis is, I don't know what his boxing skills are like, so I'm hoping for the best.
Me too.
But, like, I feel like Tyson, and that's more of a reason for him to just weigh on people. He's fucking 7 foot tall.
Dude, 7 foot, like 300 pounds,
yeah, it benefits him to just fucking weigh on you and lean on you. So I just think it's going to be 12 rounds of a hugging match. I'm very happy they're making their money, but I'm not expecting shit.
I hear you. I hear you. And again, that's another one we can talk about when it gets a little closer. But it was a shock. I'm just waiting for Dana White to... I was waiting yesterday for the best card ever to be introduced, because every time Francis says anything, he's like, I got an announcement, join me on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? But I love it. Love everything about it, man. Manny, thank you so much for joining me on the show today, man. This has been incredible, dude.
I got to get the shit off my chest, man.
Man, bro, we got to talk boxing, man. So we like I said, this has been, this is the Fight Podcast, my conversation with Manny Montana. Dude, again, appreciate your time. Love the insight. And we'll do it again. Before we get out of here, anything you want to touch on, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to promote, anything?
No, I mean we got a writer's strike going. Hopefully the actors get on strike too, and like jump boards and like give these studios something to think about. But nothing to promote, nothing to talk about. But in time we will.
We stand with the WGA.
Damn right.
That needs to get rectified. We're the Fight Podcast. This is a fight that is necessary. Right. The suits are out here on some entire bullshit.
Just share the wealth, man.
Yeah, share the wealth. Y'all getting all this crazy bread, and these are the people that are creating for you. They're literally taking these ideas, and if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have anything.
You're still gonna make millions.
You're still gonna make millions. Hand over fist, you're making money. Pay these people.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we get flustered talking about this.
Yeah, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, we'll put a button on it with that one. But salute to the WGA and everybody associated with that in there as well. For you who are watching, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw here, like, share, and subscribe to this video. Check out everything else that we are doing here on the Fight Podcast. I know you've seen the mug over here. We got merch. Check it out. The Fight Podcast. Etsy.com/@thefightpod shop. Y'all, you can check it out there. Salute to the First Lady of Fight Pod, Tosh. She's the one who designed them. So she killed it on those. Go ahead and check it out. All right. Love y'all. We'll see you next time right here on the Fight Podcast. Peace.